My name is Jade, owner and principal planner of Joyful Events by Jade, and this is The Cookie Table. This is a podcast all about love, marriage, relationships, and the wedding industry, wedding news. Perfect for anyone that is getting married, is married, a wedding vendor, or someone that just loves weddings. Grab your favorite cookie from The Cookie Table, pour yourself a glass of Chardonnay, and let's get into it. Cassie Horrell, thank you so much for joining me on The Cookie Table. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
You are a Buckeyes girly.
I am.
You can't go wrong with them.
Number one. They're number one on my list. I see them on a cookie table. I'm like, I gotta taste this, check it out, make sure it's good quality.
Got to. The Grandview Bakery, as always, thank you. They make some thick boys. I
was gonna say those are like double size. I love that.
Yeah. Might need to cut it in half to eat it, but those are all for you. But thank you so much for coming. Cassie, you are the director of events at the Heinz History Center.
Yes.
How long have you been there?
I have been there 6 years now, which is wild to say.
Yeah.
My longest in place at a venue.
Congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You lived in Florida. You started events in Florida?
Yes. So I'm from Kent, Ohio, went to Slippery Rock.
Okay.
My very young professional career took me to Florida, and my husband and I stayed down there for 6.5, 7 years.
Okay.
We were in Amelia Island for a little. We were in the Keys for a little bit, in Key Largo, and then wanting a family kind of brought us up here, and his family's from Pittsburgh, so this is where we settled.
What did you do for events in Florida?
A lot of different things.
Let's hear it.
So I started, whenever I got into the wedding industry, I was doing event coordination at a little golf club.
Okay.
Then I moved to strictly wedding coordination at a yacht club. And then when I went to Ocean Reef Club, I was in luxury wedding catering. And I was doing everything under the sun. That property I was at, you never stopped. I could go into work and I might be planning a party on a yacht, a dinner on the beach. I would have a full wedding Thursday through Sunday, doing every single event for them.
Wow.
So I did that for 3.5 years, and that was my last thing in Florida until it brought me up. And then early on, I started my career in recreation, which you're like, how do you get from recreation to weddings? I'm like, it actually is a perfect transition.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what started me in hospitality, and I was like, okay, this is it for me. I absolutely love it. And then once you get into weddings, you kind of know within the first 3 to 4 months, is this for me? Is it not? And I can't imagine my life without them.
Yeah. I'm sure you saw a lot of different things down in Florida than what you see up here in Pittsburgh.
Tons of different things.
How has that helped your current role?
I think for me to see the possibility of what can happen, and also how someone's budget might impact their day, because in Florida, most of the clients that I worked at, especially at the last property I was at, were unlimited $1 million types of events.
Yeah.
So I was seeing the max and the possibility of what you can do.
Wow.
And when I first started, it was very DIY wedding, so I kind of got to see the end of both spectrums, which was really, really nice.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that I learned, because when you're in Florida, you're dealing with weather and rain a lot. So reading the weather, understanding weather calls, and how appropriate it is to have a backup.
Yeah.
Even if your venue has an attached outdoor area, you cannot guarantee the weather. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how much you pray, how much you manifest. Even if you get that Etsy witch, which I've done, I've ordered the Etsy witch, you cannot guarantee that you're going to have beautiful weather.
Yeah.
So understanding that aspect of planning an event and the time it takes to set up, and if you're outside and you have to make that call, where are you setting your boundaries?
Yes.
What time are we calling it? How are we delivering the news? Who are we delivering it to? All of that kind of, even though I don't do a ton of outdoor up here in Pittsburgh, you still face it.
Yeah. Did you I was going to say you probably had a shit ton in Florida.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we would have 400-person weddings out on a beach with no covering.
Oh, my God.
And some of the couples were like, no, I'm getting married out here regardless. And we would be shifting, 2-3 hours, which to me is not my preference. I'm a timeline girly. If we're starting at 5 and ending at 11, that's what it is.
Right.
So that was an adjustment for me.
Jeez, interesting.
But sometimes when you don't have a budget, paying staff and all the other things,
they don't care.
No, they don't even bat an eye.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably, I think, one of the most stressful things.
Yeah. In Florida, is it more kind of microbursty, or is it big storms up here?
So you always get, it depends on the season, because you have November through April is their season, where here I feel it's completely flip-flopped.
Yeah.
You always have afternoon storms. It's almost a guarantee that sometime between 1 and 5 o'clock, you're going to have some sort of rain. What that's going to look like, I don't know. When I worked at Ocean Reef, we always said we had the Ocean Reef bubble where like there was like a protecting, like you'd see a storm and then I don't know, it like magically went around and you're like, oh. I spent like a short amount of time in Orlando. Almost always we were getting rain. And in Amelia Island area, we mainly got afternoon rain as well. Okay. But a lot of my venues there were like, at least the receptions were inside. So
thank
that's
God.
less.
Yeah, always have a backup plan. It is just funny though, because we've talked about this before on the podcast. Pinterest creates, you know, and I hate to say unrealistic, but
unrealistic is the word.
Unrealistic, right? Unrealistic.
Yes.
And I've had some Pittsburgh couples see these beautiful things happening on Pinterest, and they want this open air party, and nobody in Pittsburgh is really willing to bend. They need to make like. There's a lot of people that are like, no, I need covering. I don't care, because rain just comes out of nowhere sometimes here.
Yes.
But when it does come out of nowhere, it usually stays a little bit longer, I feel like.
It's like slow moving.
Yeah,
it's
slow moving. And it can be a bummer, because I understand the idea can be beautiful, but it's just not worth it.
No,
it's not. When I got married inside, because I was just like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to deal with this.
I also feel if you're at an outdoor venue, it is worth it to put a deposit down on a tent for like insurance purposes of just like, okay, if it rains, like we have a weather day, we have a weather day plan, and you can get the beautiful clear tents. I know they're a little warmer, but there are some aesthetic options out there. You just have to search for them.
You do. You absolutely do. Tell me what director of events means. What do you do at the Heinz History Center?
I mean, I do a lot in my role at the History Center. We do, I would say, about 250 events a year. I have an amazing team. You've worked with some of my team before.
Yes.
But we do a fair amount of weddings. Those typically happen during season. Like I'd say 60 to 65-ish weddings or like family social events. The rest are corporate. So we do a lot of like galas, fundraisers, dinners, sometimes more intimate, sometimes really big.
Yeah.
And then not my department specifically, but my team helps kind of service it, is all of the programs that are hosted by the museum.
Okay.
Which is really cool. So they'll do public speakers, lecture series, panel discussions. So you kind of see everything inside of our building, which I also think is a positive as a professional to just see, you know, logistically, how does that work?
Right.
And then part of my job is like scheduling, making sure we have the right people in the right place at the right time, making sure that we're keeping our equipment up to date, that we're expanding our offerings. And my team specifically offers very hands-on planning support, which a lot of venues don't, but our team does.
Yes, your team's wonderful.
So we're kind of all over in the events at the History Center. We will kind of make whatever vision someone has hopefully come to life for them.
You really do. You're very flexible there. Everyone's always very kind. It's a great space. It's a great space. It's so much fun. So, Cassie, you do have quite an online following.
Yes.
So,
not something I imagined, but here I am.
Yeah. It's. When did you kind of start that? When did it start to take off?
So I really started being online, I think it was about 3.5 years ago, because I was like postpartum, just had my son.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like in the middle of COVID, and I just felt so disconnected from everything.
Yeah.
And I got on TikTok to like pass the time, and I saw other professionals kind of talking about what they do and giving tips and tricks. And I was like, I could totally do this. And I remember the first try I got on, and I just started, you know, I don't even know what I was talking about, but nothing really landed. And I was kind of like, oh, that sucks. Like, you're putting time and effort in, and like, you're not really reaching anyone. So I took a break, like a couple months, and then wedding season kicked off, like I think in March or April of that year.
Yeah.
And I left that wedding just so inspired. And I was like, oh my gosh, my couple did so many cool things. Like, I'm just going to shoot the shit behind the camera and talk. Like if my friend called me and was asking for advice.
Yeah.
And that's really how I am. Like, I feel like maybe my first try was a little staged. So second try, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to like get behind the camera and talk like I normally would to a friend.
Right.
And that's when I really felt like it resonated with the right people. And then obviously when you're in weddings, it's like every weekend, every other weekend. So there's a lot of content. Yeah, lots of content coming at you. And I think a lot of us are just natural creatives. Like, our brain works differently.
100%.
So I feel like I just constantly have ideas. Even now I'm sitting and I'm like, oh, I could talk about this. I could talk about that. So I just kind of got behind the camera and would batch create content when my kids were sleeping, try to get like as much done as I could, and then post. and it really took off like way more than I ever expected. It has allowed me to expand a personal brand and so many cool opportunities, personal clients. Like the reach is life-changing for me and like for my family. Like some of the opportunities that have come our way, I'm like, I never imagined
It's amazing.
in a million years that, you know, I'd be on TV or like, I don't know, even some of my clients that I work with, like planning a wedding in Disney World isn't something that I ever imagined, but like now I have a client that's planning there and I'm like, oh, it's just very fun. And I kind of take anything that comes my way and I'm like, all right, let's see where it takes us.
Yeah. But then you're still kind enough to come on my little podcast.
Hey, I love it
so much.
I think podcasts are so cool. Like I admire people that take the time to like think of a script and you bring on all these people, you give, you know, tons of different perspectives.
Trying to.
Yeah, I love it.
Trying to. But you're right. It's that creative side of you that you're just like, I feel like I need to talk about this. Or just, I need to put out a different angle that I think you see out there sometimes. It's just nice to make people think too.
And sometimes people only see us by like our website.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I worked with you at the History Center. And then it's like, I have this whole other side to me and I have all of these great ideas. But you're a mom, you're a business owner. Like sometimes your time is just so limited.
Very.
So a project that you might think is going to take like a couple weeks is taking like 4 or 5 months to actually get it complete because you have to prioritize your time. And
you do.
It's different.
People, I think here in 2025 too, people buy into you more and who you are as a person. So you mentioning like the authenticity of you kind of just talking is great. People feel like they know you.
Yes.
And I think that's what gives them comfort when booking and moving forward in aspects too. So that's great. What is the key to gaining a following? I had someone once tell me you have to post 3 times a day on TikTok. Is that true?
I would say it's partially true. Okay. I am like no social media aspect. I have no social media training. I don't know. I'm just out here like putting myself out there. I would say consistency and authenticity are definitely like 2 things that reflect. Like I notice I've posted 3 to 5 times a day for almost 4 years.
Wow.
On TikTok specifically. And like just in January, I started expanding to the other apps. So like it's taking...
Your Instagram's new?
Yes, I started in January.
You're kidding.
No. So I'm like, I don't know. I try to post and like I use, this is not an ad, repurpose.io. I don't know if you use them, but it takes everything that you post from whatever your favorite platform is and it repurposes it. So like I don't physically have to do anything. It just takes it and it will repost it.
Great.
Like same thing with Facebook. I was not on Facebook. I was not on YouTube. So like all of that's very new to me.
Okay.
TikTok I do have a little more of a handle on because I film and post from the app. People are like, you're crazy. You don't like edit on a professional platform. I'm like, no, I literally have an idea. I pick up my camera, I film it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna post that today.
Yeah.
I hope people like what I'm putting out there.
It's going great. It's going great. I love it. So what makes you an expert, so to speak?
I sometimes don't like using the word expert because I feel like you're trying to make yourself sound a little cocky when you say that. But I always feel that I'm a very well-rounded professional because I've worked in a lot of different facets and I also work from the ground up. So I understand, like, I'm not an expert maybe in linens or flowers, but like overall when you're planning a wedding and like understanding the logistics of a timeline or a flavor palette for food, how much time it actually takes to set up, how much time it actually takes for dinner service, like those things I feel like I have such a handle on. I've been back in the kitchen, I've been serving, I've been setting up. Like I feel like I've done a lot of the parts that make a wedding successful.
Right.
And I have a lot of advice to share on that. Like same thing with my mobile bar. I started a mobile bar with literally no bartending experience, but I was like, I love this. I want to try it. Let's go for it. And what I've learned as like a small business owner and like quantities, service, the amount of bartenders, like all of that information, I think when you're able to share it with someone is like,
valuable.
Yes. And then that can help them from making a mistake or it can just make their event that much more successful and stress-free.
You said 6 years at the Heinz History Center and you said 250 events a year or 200 and something?
Our team probably does between 200 and 250.
Okay.
Like not me personally, but like our
but
team.
You're still behind it and you're still overseeing all of that. So you have seen a lot.
Yes.
So that I think definitely makes you an expert. And I always laugh too because you'll have some couples that are just like, but I want it this way. And it's like, okay, but you're not going to trust, for example, Cassie, who has seen this 1,010,000,000 times. you know what you're doing and you're very hands-on,
Yes.
which is beautiful. Because like you mentioned before, not all from a venue aspect, not all venues are super hands-on. No. From my point of view, it'll feel like I'll go to a venue and it's like that venue coordinator barely even exists.
Yeah.
So it's really nice that yourself and your team, you're in it and you know what the hell's going on.
I feel like we love to, and we have planners that are like excited to work with us.
Yeah, so excited.
Sometimes we'll have planners come in and they like either don't want to step on our toes because we're like the venue people, so they're, you know, maybe scared about making a call or being like, hey, I want to line them up. But like our team is so like, where do you need us?
Yes.
Like, we're here to support you. If you want us to do this, like, we're happy to do it. If you want to do it, like, we got your back.
Yeah.
That's like one of the reasons why I love working there is like the people that I work with are just top
amazing.
Notch.
But yeah, it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
And I love that. And as a planner, going into a space where I feel comfortable also kind of being like, okay, what can I do? What do you want to do? And XYZ makes me feel great too. Because you'll get in these scenarios where I'll go to a venue and they are like so annoyed that I'm even there.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel crappy, but it's like, okay, but the couple hired me, so you can't just push me out. But Heinz History Center, very welcoming all around. Always, always. So you mentioned you own a mobile bar. So Clink 92 Vintage Mobile Bar. It's a horse trailer turned into a bar.
Yes.
So where do you have the time to do all of this?
So the good thing is it's not a solo thing either. So we own this with my husband's cousin, who's now my cousin.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And we kind of split events up. We all work full time. So it's the nice thing is we have the ability to take business when we want to.
Yeah.
So it is definitely more, I call it a seasonal side hustle.
There you go.
Like it is very labor intensive, way more than I anticipated when I got into the business.
Yeah.
But it's so very rewarding. Yeah. Like it's also nice for me sometimes to be working a different aspect of weddings and like you get to see and experience like something else at a different venue. You see somebody else in charge and how the timeline flows, and that can be good and bad. But it's cool to kind of be on the outskirts. It's, I think, a lot less stressful. Yeah. Like I think the most stressful part is backing the trailer in.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're at venues and
sure.
like I'm not great at navigating it. My husband has like a big truck. He's really great. And my cousin has a Jeep truck. And so like they're so good. I'm like, give me the decorating, give me the bar list, give me the drinks, I can serve them. But like driving it, backing it up, not my forte. But that's why it's a team effort.
Absolutely.
But we split it up. So like I'll work sometimes we'll work together. Nice. We have like a team of really great people that will bartend with us if we need like more than 2 or 3 people.
Where did that inspiration come from? What made you say, I want to do this?
Also a COVID thing. Okay. I was just like, you know, let's do something fun. This was before I had kids. Yeah. Like I think we bought the trailer and then like 2 weeks later I found out I was pregnant. I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just like, what can we do? Our cousin Kayla, who also owns with us, she is a chef. Ooh. So like sometimes she'll serve food out of it and she takes it to like farmers markets and we'll utilize it in a different capacity than just a bar. So it was definitely like a COVID idea and we just ran with it. We were like, let's go. Let's see where it takes us. And it's been a really fun journey. I think now that's about 3.5 years that we've been 4 years, something like that.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of good things came out of COVID. There's a lot of bad, but a lot of good. A lot of good. So congrats to you for that as well.
Thanks.
You're obviously on the Cookie Table podcast and you are very involved in Pittsburgh events. So I need your expert opinion on the Cookie Table itself and how many cookies you truly recommend per person.
Okay. So I'm a huge fan of the Cookie Table. You know this. I'm like a super stan fan of the Cookie Table. I always tell my couples the number one thing when you're doing your cookie table is you should be doing tiered trays. Like, do not try to do flat platters because you're just wasting space and you can't get as many cookies out.
Yeah.
If you have nut allergies or certain allergies, make sure those cookies are labeled. And then if there's like this is like a 2-part question. Do you want your cookie table to just be a dessert at the venue? Okay. Or do you want your cookie table to be a dessert at the venue plus a favor or plus goodies people are taking home? Because that will impact what I say, like the recipe for the right amount of numbers. So for me, I typically say if you just want them eating it at the venue, 3 to 6 per person, 3 to 6 cookies per person or sweet treats, whatever you're doing. If you have cake on top of that, some people do, I'll say maybe you do like 3 to 5, 3 or 4 plus the cake. If you want it to go, so you want them to be dining on it plus you want them to take a little bag. I usually say 7 to 12 cookies per person.
Okay.
That might be too many, but I'm like, people don't like their cookie table to look sparse.
Yeah.
And also a lot of times you need to provide the bags or the boxes, and the catering team or whomever's in charge of the cookie table will literally take whatever's left over, just like pack it in there and be passing it out.
Yeah.
So definitely plan for that type of accommodation, like the bag or the box, if you want people to take them home, or else people are like walking out with a napkin of cookies and putting it in their purse, and it's like, it's not it.
Find all the crumbs at the bottom of your purse the next day. I think the big key there is have catering, or even your planner. I'm always happy to too, but packing up the boxes or the bags and making sure they actually leave too.
Yes.
That is the biggest key if you are going to do a lot of cookies. I always just hate the waste. I feel like it can be such an overwhelming amount. And you see the look of defeat on the family's face. They're like, oh shit, I gotta take all of these. So
I also feel that you know your crowd.
Yes.
So if you're like, my crowd's a huge cookie crowd, they're a huge sweet crowd, then like you might want to lean into that higher number. But if you're like, I don't know, we have a lot of out of towners, they're not familiar with the cookie table, they won't even know to take them.
Such a good point.
Then like, or they're traveling, like you can't, sometimes you can't pack that stuff. So there's a lot of variables that go into like the amount, and then also what the couple's expectation is for the cookie. Some people are like, I want this grand cookie table. I don't want there to be an inch of linen showing. But like, is that realistic based on your guest count and your guests?
Right.
You got to think about it.
Yeah. Those are all really good thoughts. I love that. You reposted on your stories a viral video of a girl.
I'm like, which one?
I just saw it this morning. Of someone who said her dad shared the photos of her in her new dress that she just bought to the family group chat that her fiance's in.
I can't.
Let's talk about that.
I would have lost it. I
That's
would have been
insane.
upset.
Yeah.
Some people don't care. Like some people are like, I don't care if my partner, sees me in that dress because like I'm not done up, my hair and makeup, I don't have the veil on, or like whatever it may be.
Spoils it.
For me, that was something that was like very important, is that like me and my husband did not see each other till we walked down the aisle.
Same.
And like he had no clue what I was going to wear. Like he probably had an idea in his mind like what I would pick because he knows what I like to wear. But that was something that was very special to me. And so like for that girl, I don't know what her like number one feeling was about the dress. Like maybe it seemed like she was upset.
Yeah, she seemed a little mad.
But like that would definitely be a conversation I would be having with my dad immediately.
Yeah.
And I probably would not be sharing any more wedding information with him. I know it was probably just like a
Innocent. It had to have
harmless.
been, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was harmless. If it was a mother of the bride, maybe not.
Yeah, which is sad to think
Sometimes
that,
the
but it's
moms
so
are
damn
like
true.
a little bit more feisty, but no, I do feel that was probably like I could see my dad doing that. Like he's just not that tech savvy.
Yeah.
And I could see him just thinking he's like sharing these photos. Like,
yeah,
but
just
also
to be
it's like
cute 'cause he's proud.
I know.
Right.
But I'm also like, that is definitely something that you don't share. Like, even if somebody sends me a picture of their dress, like I've had friends, I don't like screenshot that. I don't save it because I'm like, what if you accidentally send it to the wrong person and they show it?
Yes.
That is like a very personal, intimate detail of your wedding day.
Incredibly. And I think too, I don't think you're being rude as someone who's getting married. If you just communicate with your family, hey, this is really important, please don't share this. Like maybe that, especially again, going back to your crowd, like you said, your dad. Not everybody gets it, but I think it's a really good realization that not everybody gets it. Not everybody knows the hate to say rules, but the rules, so to speak.
Yeah, like the etiquette of planning and like what you share and what you don't share.
Yes. So it's okay to tell your family, hey,
please don't share this.
Don't share this. That was insane. But it looks like someone might just get her a new dress or something.
Yeah, it seemed like they might like spice it up or change it.
Do something, a bridal shop. So, oh God, just
that did make me a little sad. When I saw it.
It's okay to communicate your needs. It's okay. It's okay. So Cassie, on your TikTok, you have those cool little playlists, and one of them is hot takes. So I want to know, what would you claim your most controversial one is?
There's two that are like the most controversial.
Okay.
Number one, and I always get a lot of like kickback when I say this, I do not think you should lie about the start time of your ceremony on your invitation.
I love this. Okay, let's hear it. Go.
I just like, to me, people typically arrive, and I see it at a venue every single weekend, 15 to 30 minutes earlier than the start time. Like, yes, you have a couple of people that roll in the last couple minutes, but like most people, I would say 3/4 of the guests are there 15 minutes prior. If you lie about the start time, so let's say you say, the wedding's at 4:30, but you're really not going to walk until 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
That is literally 45 minutes to an hour that a guest could be coming to your wedding and just sitting. It's very inconsiderate of your guest's time, especially if they're getting a babysitter or they're traveling. Like, to me, it just hinders the guest experience, which I think as a professional, it's important to think about them.
Yep.
And I also just feel that as an adult attending a wedding, you should be mature enough to look at the invitation and then plan accordingly.
I so agree. My God.
And I get people in the comments like coming after me like, I can't believe you. Like, people just want them to be there to watch her walk down the aisle. I'm like, I get that. But also,
and they will be.
If they show up at the time, like a little bit early, then you're good to go. So I always suggest to my couples, if they're worried about this, to list on there like seating opens at 4, ceremony starts promptly at 4:30, or something along those lines.
Okay, that's great.
As like, hey, you can come as early as 4, but we're not starting till 4:30. So they have like a time range.
Okay.
But just straight up lying, I'm like, no. And then if you are gonna lie, which some people like, they're like, I don't care. You should be providing something. Activity, a drink, shade, something. Because like an hour to sit around in a seat outside or inside, like, it's boring.
Yeah.
An hour?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, thank you.
No notes. I am so happy to hear you say that. I love that. I couldn't agree with you more. It's literally no notes, like cosine.
Yeah, I'm like, I really don't get it. And people will argue differently. And I'm like, really?
Put it on your wedding website too. If you really feel like that pressed about it, because I think a lot of these websites will prompt the FAQ of like, when should I arrive for the ceremony? Yeah. But again, you're an adult for the most part. You should just know, like, my God. You said you have 2 controversial.
Yes.
What's the second?
The other one is people that are saying like a full open bar is mandatory at a wedding. Now, I see the other side of it. Like, I'm not like a huge fan of a cash bar. I'm not like an advocate for cash bar.
Yeah.
But if you are someone that in your budget, maybe all you could afford is beer and wine for your guests, or beer, wine, seltzers, maybe you have a signature cocktail. I do not think there's an issue in that. I think if your vision is for all of your guests to be having alcoholic beverages all night and you want to drink in everybody's hand and you want it to be hard liquor, then yes, you should be providing an open bar, a full open bar of sorts. But I don't think it's mandatory. Like, I don't think it should be mandatory. If you're going to do a cash bar, you need to maybe let your guests know ahead of time it's a cash bar. Yeah. And at the very minimum, you need to be providing, non-alcoholic beverages. But saying your wedding's not great because you didn't serve vodka, whiskey, to me, that's like rude. Yeah. I'm like, I've attended great weddings that were beer and wine only weddings. You're there to celebrate the couple, and they're still accommodating and offering alcoholic beverages just because it's not your drink of choice.
Right. We have had on this podcast saying that a cash bar is tacky.
Yeah. I do think it's a little bit tacky, but also like if it reflects your lifestyle, maybe you don't drink alcohol.
Exactly.
I'm like, I see it. Like I see it. It's a very fluid conversation.
It is. I like the idea of doing just signature drinks or beer and wine. I think that's a really nice middle ground of still providing to your guests because they came to your wedding, especially guests that are, I think, like out of town weddings or people that are traveling to come into town, so to speak. They're getting the hotel room. They're paying for the travel. Yeah. So I think if you can't do a full bar, consider beer and wine and or just signature.
Yeah, like something there. I think I do agree. Like, they're celebratory. Yeah. It's pretty normal to have some sort of alcoholic beverage. Yeah. What that looks like, I think it's fluid. There's flexibility there. But I think for people to just up and be like, I'm not giving them a gift because they didn't have an open bar, I'm like, rude. That's rude.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's such a controversial topic.
Yeah. Everyone has a different opinion. And like every time I talk to someone else, a different professional, or like, I get it. I totally see their point. And I think it is also reflective of where you're located.
Yes.
Like sometimes if you are in like New York City, like it probably is super tacky to not have like an open bar if you're having if you're having a full black tie wedding, like it probably is, you need to be providing that.
For sure.
But if you're just having like a normal casual wedding, like I don't know.
It's okay. I get it. And everyone's budgets are different. So I agree. There's a line of like being rude to basically insulting someone's budget. They just want to have a beautiful day and what they can afford. So why are you shitting on it? So like, come on, don't be a dick. Okay, well, since I have, wedding experts sitting next to me, I need to ask you more pressing questions that I've always
Let's
had.
go.
What are your thoughts on tipping culture in the wedding industry and everyone tipping their vendors or not tipping?
I 100% am on the side of like, it's up to the discretion of the client.
Yeah.
I do think it should be performance based. Like if your vendor did not do a good job and like they weren't responsive, they weren't providing the service that you contracted, like why would you be tipping them a standard 20%? Like I hear a lot of people, it's like, it should always be 20% of whatever your bill is. That can be thousands and thousands of dollars. And if they didn't do the job correctly or to your expectations, like, I don't know. I always tell my clients, like I pass out a lot of tips.
Same.
They'll ask me my advice on like, what do you standard see? I don't know. I'm not seeing 20% of a bill ever on what I'm tipping. And I'm like, for some people, it might be, $50 per bartender. That's what they could afford. Or maybe to the catering manager, it's $150 to $200. Like that's more standard, at least where we are, I think.
I agree.
I think maybe when you're somewhere else, it might be a lot higher than that. But for the majority of couples that I plan, I always say, based on your experience and based on the performance of what they provide. For some of those, they want to give the tip before the service is actually provided. But most of the time, you have an idea of what that's going to be like. If they've been communicative, if they've been answering questions, if they've been giving you, what you've been asking for, then that usually means on the day they're going to nail it. Or go above what your expectations are.
20% to a $7,000 photographer just seems a little wild.
And I'm not saying they didn't do great work.
Exactly.
But I'm like, that's a lot of extra money and can hugely impact your budget and then also impact what type of vendors you can get if you stuck to the standard of what people say.
Completely agree. I have had some couples more recently Venmo after the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is a great idea. So if you're torn on tipping or you want to see how they actually perform instead of giving your planner or Cassie, the tip envelopes predetermined, I think that's a great idea. It's okay to wait and see how they do on the actual wedding day.
Agree. And I also feel like Venmo and PayPal are just like such normal means anymore that like maybe a couple years ago that would have been weird, but nowadays I'm like totally normal.
Right.
Go for it.
I agree completely. I agree. What would be your advice to vendors on how to handle clients who push boundaries? So maybe a smaller package, asking for multiple Zoom meetings. How should we handle that?
I think it's hard. At least I find it hard myself. Like I think a lot of us wedding vendors are people pleasers.
Yeah.
Like we want to make sure our clients are happy and like you want to go above and beyond, but it is so important to set that boundary and be like, hey, I think it's totally okay to remind them of the contract.
Okay.
Or bring that up either in conversation or in email. I'm like a receipt person. Like for me, if somebody's pushing something, I would love to have it in writing. I don't know if it's via text. I usually do email if it's something like professional that I have to discuss.
Yeah.
But I think if they're, crossing a line or it's getting to the point that you feel they might be requesting something that's not available, it's okay to say, hey, just a reminder, the package that you booked includes this, this, and this.
Yeah.
If you'd like to add something on, these are your options.
Yeah.
And if you can be proactive about it, if you see it going in that direction, obviously catching it before it gets to the point where you're like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Is going to be better for the customer experience.
For sure.
You can't always catch it. Sometimes they're like, oh, you're not going to build my centerpieces from scratch with this bag of nails and the nail gun I left? No, we're not.
No, I'm not.
But that's why it's so important to have a good contract.
Yeah.
And also like to have it in writing several times that people can see like where you draw the line. Like I feel like as a wedding planner, you probably find yourself in a lot of situations where it's like, oh my gosh, we forgot this, this, and this. And they want you to like drive 30 minutes down the road to buy it. And it's like, well,
can't do that.
My job, in order for your day to be successful, it needs to be here.
Yes.
Like I need to be here on site doing this, this, and this.
Yes.
So sometimes people just don't understand, but
I know, and I think being service-based is what kind of makes it a little gray.
yes.
It's such a strange thing.
And you have a personal relationship, usually very close. Like a lot of people don't understand with weddings how close you get to the couples.
Yeah.
And then like it's like you're breaking up with them
It
after
is.
the wedding.
It's so uncomfortable.
And you're like
sad.
a little sad. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I won't really talk to you. Like I've been talking to you every week for a year and a half.
Yeah, I know. It honestly is sad. But setting about boundaries, okay. It could be tough. Sometimes I feel like just my personality from a planning standpoint too, it's like if someone's like really having a hard time and like you really need to jump on a Zoom, sure. But there have been times where it's like these Zooms definitely could have been an email, or it's like it wasn't that
Yes.
serious, or I'm walking them literally through their decor checklist and like, okay, did you buy this yet? No, did you buy that yet? Like, well, why are we like, you can easily go down a checklist and like
Do it yourself.
yeah.
Yes.
And it's like sometimes you just
some
get
they
real
need more
typical.
hand holding.
They do. They do. And I try to tell, I always tell myself too, like it balances out.
Yes.
You'll have the ones that like barely need handheld. So it's just like, okay, if I need to hold this person's hand a little bit more, it's okay. I'm here for you. But when it starts to feel like you're getting taken advantage of,
You gotta say something.
the wording is you would recommend kind of the package. This is your package, or we can upgrade, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think if it comes to the point where you're feeling either overwhelmed or taken advantage of, it is 100% okay to remind them of the terms that they agreed to.
Yeah.
It's in writing. You've both agreed to it.
Right.
And sometimes they just like don't even realize what they agreed to. Like they booked their contract
They
so long
don't.
ago and they're like, oh, I thought it came with unlimited planning calls, or I thought you were going to do this, this, and this. And they just need a friendly reminder.
Right. Right.
Hey, we don't do that. So
Right.
let's make sure we catch it
Yeah.
if we can.
Yeah. Again, as a reminder, Cassie's the director at the Heinz History Center, and you have an exclusive catering partner there.
Yes.
Right? So I want you to kind of talk about the venues to or the benefits to a venue and also the couple having an exclusive caterer in the space.
Okay. I think this is a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are scared to talk about this, but I'm not. For me, I've seen a lot of different caterers. Mostly good, but I have seen some bad ones.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest pluses to having a caterer that's exclusive, always in the venue every single weekend, is we have a very good idea of the level of service that's going to come from the people that are serving the food, as well as the quality and look of the food. We work with Commonly Catering. They're amazing.
Yes.
But I've worked with caterers that are not to that caliber. Our team can speak to what they can do, what they can't do, which is very helpful when you're going through those initial planning appointments.
Yeah.
If they're not in the conversations, we have a very good idea of how they perform and what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
The other thing is somebody having kitchen equipment that is always on site is huge, because I've seen caterers setting up in an alleyway under a tent, like trying to cook this 5-star plated meal. I'm like, I don't know how they're doing it, but they're like hustling so hard, and I don't know. And then also having serving staff that are familiar with the building.
Yes.
This is a huge thing, because they then can recommend food and options that would make sense for the certain floor or space that they're on.
Okay.
So, I don't know. We have floors, we're a unique space. So we have floors where there's like an open atrium and there's one path of service. So like they might say, you know, this space, if you're over 150 people, it gets crowded. So we want to do past hors d'oeuvres instead of stationary that's going to take up space. If you're just telling them, hey, I'm at, you know, ABC venue, they have no clue what the space looks like, they might not give the best recommendation. So having a caterer that's in our space every single weekend, they definitely have a sense of what works well and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And then it also allows us to know, at least pretty average, how long dinner service takes.
Yeah.
They know the exact pathway. They know where they're going to be plating up. It becomes more routine. So to me, I think those pros outweigh sometimes being able to pick maybe the cheaper or more cost-effective caterer. Now, you always get into the predicament where most of the time when there's an exclusive caterer, the pricing is higher. It is going to be higher. There's, you know, an agreement between the catering company and the venue. Like, that's how it works. But I think the price being higher outweighs, like,
Having a mess of a dinner or bad food.
We can promise you, like, the service is going to be on time. The food quality is going to be great. The staff is friendly. They have kitchen equipment on site.
Yeah.
Load in, load out are so simple because they're in our building, you know, multiple times a week.
Yeah.
And just the camaraderie and, like, I don't know, if they're struggling a little bit, our team can step in. If we're struggling a little bit, they'll step in for us. So it's just a very tight-knit relationship.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. Personally, but I'm in the situation where I work with an exclusive caterer.
Do you think that caps couples' budgets, or are you having that conversation pretty heavily at time of booking when they're considering the space?
It definitely caps, I think, some couples that can book with us because of overall cost of the venue with catering. Plus, if they're doing, you know, entertainment, real flowers, all of those things. For us, they receive that information immediately once they inquire. They get basic pricing, they get the menus.
Yeah.
Once they tour, they're connected directly with someone to get an estimate. And we tell every single couple, if you're interested and you're holding a date with us, please verify that the food and beverage estimate works for you.
Okay, there you
We
go.
never ever want a couple to get locked in and then them be like,
They can't do it.
yeah, like, oh, I didn't understand the pricing. Like, we talk about it in person, we have it in writing so that they can be prepared if they choose to move forward.
Okay. So you have an exclusive caterer. So how many, do you have recommended other vendors, or are they exclusive to, because how do you combat non-compliant vendors in your space?
So,
If you get any.
yes, we do have some vendors that I would say like don't perform to the caliber that we would like. So we have an exclusive agreement with Commonly Catering and Mosaic Linens. Both amazing. I'm sure you've worked with
Absolutely.
them. We allow any other vendor to come into our space. We do have a preferred vendors list that to get on our vendors list, there's some requirements. You have to have performed at least 3 or more successful events for us.
Okay.
You have to have been polite to our staff and followed our rules and regulations because we're a museum. So those are kind of the 3 that we require to get on the list. We are not a pay-to-play type of vendors list.
Great.
Which some lists
are.
are, and you can't really trust them.
Yep.
At the History Center, it's 100% performance-based.
Oh, that's great.
We use that more of a starting point. So if some of our clients are like just diving into wedding planning, maybe they're not even from Pittsburgh and they have no idea where to start, we can say, hey, these vendors here have done such a great job. If you're just starting to look for your search, we recommend these ones. However, if they say, hey, my friends recommend this photo booth company, can we bring them in? Of course. Our number one recommendation is that they have some sort of insurance, which most normal businesses will be able to provide general liability
They
insurance.
should be able to.
Yes.
Yes.
There are some people that are like, oh, my friend's doing it. And I'm like, not recommend. But
Yes.
you can bring anybody in. We have had vendors that are either extremely rude to the staff or just like do not want to follow rules and regulations, even though we're being very upfront with them.
Yeah.
You've seen the email we send out, like a very detailed email that shares, when can you load in, when can you load out, what the rules and regulations are for parking, the full timeline. We share that information early on in the week so that there's time in case someone can't, meet the requirements or they need more time. So if a vendor shows up on the day of and it's just like super demanding and like they didn't read the information that we shared, for me, that's a red flag.
Massively, right?
We always try to remedy the situation while the vendor is on site and work with them as much as possible. But there are situations, we've never luckily had to kick any vendor out or like not had them provide the service. But we do have a do not book list.
Okay.
We have several vendors on there that, like I said, either underperformed or just so extremely rude that I do not recommend that they work with our clients. We provide this list to every single client that books with us.
Okay. So they get that at the very beginning. They book the venue, they get the list. So to start planning from there, they know who to avoid.
Yeah. And
that's great.
Most of the times if our vendors or if a client asks like why are they on the list, we're happy to share. Like I say, like, be candid. I always tell my team, like, be candid, tell them what occurred. Obviously we can't stop someone from technically booking them. Like we're not like the police that could be like, oh no, you can't do that. But we can highly recommend that they don't. We have been in a situation where people have booked vendors that are on the list. We share with them, our concerns and what has happened in the past so that they are aware. And like, it does help, I think, if they are like aware of what happened.
Have you ever had someone come back into space after being on that list and then you take them off the list because they changed their tune or they were better?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We have had vendors come back in
fair.
our space and it solidified why they're not on the list. And I'm like, that's why we don't recommend people work with them because they're just, not professional. Or they're not to the level of service that we're trying to provide for the client.
So when you book the Heinz History Center, you're going to not only get fantastic catering and amazing hands-on staff, but also authentic, real recommendations for vendors that are not paying monthly to be on this list.
Right.
So it's not a fake recommendation. They are very authentically on that list, which I'm the same way. When they book with me, no matter the package, our couples get a digital welcome packet of real, authentic vendor recommendations of people that just aren't crappy at their job.
Yeah, and like people that you've
We
seen
want you
their
to book
work
good people.
and you're like, hey, this person's really great at flowers or this is a great photographer. And like every couple I feel like has a different vibe, a different aesthetic. So like what vendor I think is the best photographer, they might be like, no, I don't like their style. And it's like, it's so subjective, a wedding.
Very subjective. But at the end of the day, there is a etiquette and a compliance and a professionalism to vendors and trusting your planner, your venue is the best thing you can do when it comes to these recommendations to really ensure you're having a fantastic wedding day and you book the right people on your team.
Yes.
Cassie, I want to leave you with 2 big things here. Since you've been in Florida, you've seen a lot, you've seen it all.
Yeah.
What do you want to see less at Pittsburgh weddings, and what do you want to see more of?
I thought both of these were really great questions. I've never been asked them. More of, and this might be like an unpopular opinion, I would love to see more cake cuttings and more cakes because I love the cookie table. Like I said, huge fan. But I think a lot of people, because they have the cookie table, they're like, I'm just going to scrap cake. I don't want to do cake. But Pittsburgh has some of the best bakeries, and they literally make such good cakes that I'm like, even if it's just like a little single tier cake, I love it. And I think personally that moment's special and like a little sweet, like down the road, you're going to look at that picture and be like, oh my gosh, remember when we cut our cake? To me, personally. So that's something I would love to see more of.
So are you saying cake served to guests or just still cutting the cake and not serving it?
Either or. Okay. Like, I love...
Just still cut the cake. It's cute.
I'm a huge cake person. I just feel that, like, it's trending right now to not have the cake.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah. But I'm also like, don't miss out on a great Pittsburgh vendor because it's trending to not have the cake. And I'm like, there's so many good ones out there.
Right.
Something I'd like to see less of, this might also be another unpopular opinion, is intros to Renegade. I know it's like such a Pittsburgh thing, and like, don't get me wrong, I love the Steelers. We have season tickets to the Steelers, but like, I feel like that song hits at a football game. Yeah. But it has such a long build time. Yeah. That, like, when it's like a wedding intro, I'm like, are they gonna come in? I'm like, are they gonna come in? What's going on? Whatever, if you do it, cool. And especially if you're a huge sports fanatic, I totally get it. Yeah. But I'm like, man, there are 1,000 other songs
hilarious.
That you can choose.
If you're gonna do it, maybe just cut down the build. I don't know. Like, have the DJ.
It's like a minute and a half until like the song breaks.
That's hilarious.
And people that aren't from Pittsburgh, like, if you
are
don't,
like, this is so dumb.
I'm like, what's going on? Like, people are like looking around, and I'm like, it's coming.
Yeah, it hits way harder in the stadium.
At the stadium, when you have the terrible titles, like, it hits differently than when you're at a wedding to be introduced.
Hilarious.
And your intro to me is like so fast. Like, people come in, it's like 20 seconds maybe, and I'm like, you're waiting a minute and a half for that song, and then it's like
awkward. What do you think about the terrible towels? Is that okay?
I like the terrible towels.
Tacky, little lame.
I feel like I've had a lot of couples that will do them and they'll customize them.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
I definitely, like I said, if you're into sports and that's like reflective of your love story, like 100% it makes sense. But if you're like, I'm gonna get terrible towels because like it's Pittsburgh and like I'm feeling like I need to do something Pittsburgh. Sometimes if you have them like folded over on the seats, it like aesthetically just like breaks up your overall beautiful look.
Sure does.
Because they're these bright yellow towels, like a super cute favor.
Yeah.
Super cute. Especially if like it's on a football weekend and people are going to the game. Like, I love that for you.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it, I don't know, like folding it over the chair, it's just, I'll look back at pictures and I'm like, oh, not for me.
Yeah, don't hang it on like a beautiful gold,
because they'll
like,
have these stunning decor, and then like the yellow towels are all over in the pictures. I'm like, whatever, if that's what they want.
Pink wedding with yellow towels. Cassie Horrell, thank you so much for joining the cooking table. Again, director of events at the Heinz History Center, owner of Clink 92 Vintage Mobile Bar, at Wedding Pro Cass on Instagram, TikTok, on all the socials. We got the YouTube going now.
Yeah, I don't really go on there, but I am on there.
At Wedding Pro Cass, when you go to her bios, you have a really cool kind of merch site. You have merch. You have wedding planning guides. You have all the 9.
Yes.
So cool. Go check it out. Thank you again for joining me. I so appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Hey. I do, yeah.